There's an Italian version of Snow White that has a little bit of Rapunzel mixed in, a really horrible mother, and of course a creepy, creepy prince. It's called Bella Venezia. Mother and daughter, not a stepmother, who own a really elegant inn. Like kings, when they're passing through, will stay at this inn. It's like the Plaza Hotel. Instead of a magic mirror, the mother asks all of the people who come through her inn if she's the hottest in the world. She's always like, "Where are you from?" "Milan." "Oh, is there anyone in Milan more beautiful than me?" "No." We're not sure if it's true or not, because every time they tell her she's more beautiful than anyone they've ever seen, they pay less. She's like, "Oh, it would be 10 crowns, but I'm only gonna charge you 5. One day she's asking a dude if he's ever seen anyone hotter than her, and her daughter walks through the room, and he goes, "Indeed I have. Your daughter over there." Not weird at all. She's like, "Yeah, it would normally be 8 crowns, but you're paying me 16 now." She also calls to the kitchen boy and says, "Go to the seashore and build a hut with just one tiny window and close up my daughter in it." So she imprisons her daughter. One day a stranger rides by, sees her beautiful face in the window, and when he goes to her mother's inn and she's like, "Who's hotter than me?" He's like, "This girl I saw in a hut." She's like, "Okay, this isn't working. My daughter has to die." She goes to the kitchen boy and she's like, "Look, you want to marry me?" And he's like, yes. I mean, she sounds awful, but he'd go from kitchen boy to, master of a wealthy inn. She's like, "Okay, cool. Go kill my daughter and bring me back her eyes and a bottle of her blood, and then I'll marry you." The kitchen boy agrees, but he's like not a monster, so he doesn't really kill her. He just abandons her in the woods, and he kills a lamb and brings back the lamb eyeballs and a bottle of the lamb's blood. Out in the forest, the girl screams and cries, but no one's there to hear her, and she's like, "Oh crap, I'm gonna die out here." But then she follows a light and spies 12 robbers instead of the 7 dwarves, and their profession is, robbing. It gets kind of Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, because she watches them go to this boulder and say, "Open, desert," and then it opens for them and they go inside. The next day when they leave again, she goes, says the magic word, goes inside their magic cave. There's a table with 12 plates, 12 glasses of wine, 12 loaves of bread, and then 12 whole chickens that are on a spit, like roasting for when they get home. So she takes one bite of every chicken, one sip from every cup of wine, and one bite from every loaf of bread. Then she does what women in fairy tales often do when left to their own devices in a stranger's house, and she also cleans everything up and makes the beds. 'Cause women be cleanin'. Of course, when the robbers get home, they notice that something's amiss, so they're like, "Okay, someone knows how to get into our secret lair. One of you is gonna stand outside and keep guard today." But she's inside, and so all the same stuff still happens. This happens with 11 of the men until the 12th one, the chief, is like, "I'm gonna hide inside today." And then he catches her. But he's not mad. He's like, "Actually, we love what you've been doing around here. We are not a sexual threat to you because we view you as our sister now, and you can just live with us." And so she does. She shares in their spoils. She cleans the house for them, and they bring her gold jewelry and stuff that they, steal from people. Apparently, the youngest robber just likes to dress up in nice clothes and go and stay in fancy inns sometimes. So of course he goes to Bella Venezia's inn, and when she's like, "Have you seen anyone hotter than me?" He's like, "Yeah, this girl who lives with me and my friends." So the mother just knows her daughter is still alive. Well, there's this old woman who comes begging at the inn, and she is a witch apparently. And so the mother says, "Hey, I want you to go kill my daughter." Because even though she's a witch, she's super poor. So the mom says, "I'll give you half my fortune." So the witch goes out and she's like, brooches for sale. And our girl comes out and she's like, "I'd love to buy a brooch." This witch is like, "Actually, I have this beautiful golden pin that would look good in your hair. Let me show you." And then she stabs her in the scalp and she dies. The robbers come home and they're super sad, but they don't have a glass coffin like the dwarves. They put her in the hollow of a tree. And so, as usual, a king is riding by with a hunting party at some point, and he sees this dead girl in the hollow of a tree, and she's so beautiful, he's like, "Gotta take her home with me." He looks at her dead body and says, "If you were alive, I would marry you. But even though you are dead, I can't tear myself away from you." Not weird or creepy at all. But of course it gets weirder and more creepy, because he has her brought to his room, and then he stays in his room day or night just staring at her and won't leave his room. And eventually his mother starts to get weirded out by this. She bursts into the room, she sees the girl, and she says, "So that's why you didn't want to come out. But she's dead. What interest could you possibly have in her?" "Good question, Mom." He says, "Dead or not, I can't live apart from her." And the mom says, "You can at least have her hair fixed." And so she calls for the royal hairdresser, who starts combing through her hair and keeps coming to this one spot that's really difficult, and then pulls out that pin, and our girl comes back to life. The wedding was celebrated and everyone lived happily ever after. There's no punishment for the mother. I guess she just has to live with knowing she's not the hottest and hearing about it forever because her daughter's a queen now. If you're like, dang, it's weird that her own mother was trying to kill her and not a stepmother. That actually happens in lots of Snow White stories. Even the Brothers Grimm version, which is one of the latest ones, originally had her mother being the one trying to kill her, but then later that upset people in like bourgeois Germany, and so they changed it to a stepmother. These stories of mothers trying to kill their own daughters and it always being about jealousy and beauty say a lot about the world that they're set in. When a woman's value is only her youth and beauty, yeah, she's going to be threatened by anything that takes that away from her. Even if she's rich and owns a whole ass inn, because that's what the patriarchy does to us when it makes us compete like that. And that's why these stories are often so dark, with the mother character wanting to like devour the heart or have the eyeballs or the bottle of blood of the younger girl, thinking if we consume those things we'll somehow get young again, when really the answer is they should have banded together, enjoyed their life owning an awesome inn, and staying away from creepy ass princes. Because, like, honestly, with these stories, I wonder if the princes are ever like, hey, could you pretend to be dead again? Sorry, I had to take it there. Check out my book and my podcast. Links in the bio.